Hello and welcome to TPK Roleplay for a new one-shot based on Ghost Lines by John Harper. This is Derelectric 2, The Deep. I am ProperNerdy. I am a staff member of TPK Roleplay, a role player, a game master, and a designer. To the left are the players for this particular adventure, and they will introduce themselves shortly. But first, an introduction. The Deep will be a horror-suspense one-shot with trigger warnings for thalassophobia or intense fear of deep bodies of water. Plus, potential warnings for death, ghosts, drowning, darkness, blindness, confined spaces, paralysis, asphyxiation, abandonment, and other horror themes. Please know that those of us around the virtual table have given our consent to explore these topics together, as respectfully as we can. But if you, the viewer, should feel uncomfortable at any of the topics at any point today, please make sure to step away, get some air, stretch your legs, and check in on us again later. For more information on mental health services available to you, use !get help. It is the year 891 of the Imperium that united the shattered isles of the Cataclysm under one rule. All glory to His Majesty, the immortal Emperor, Unilius the Unyielding. You may come from different parts of the Shattered Isles, but one way or another, you've all ended up working as a line bull. These protectors of the ghost lines are as feared for their skill in destroying rogue spirits as they are distrusted for the ominous work they do. You're not necessarily second-class citizens, but your position only puts you slightly above them, and only because you are an employee of the Imperium. Last we met Aminta, Lenia, Nick, and Amison. Your careers almost ended on the Bayside line when you found yourselves face to face with that which hungers, Knossos, a god of death. The public of the Imperial City didn't truly believe your story after escaping only barely with your lives, but you have worked your way closer to Master Linebulls to end up here. Now, an overlay order, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and your character and what you've been doing since the last time we've seen you. I believe that starts us off with Lukalak.
Hi, I'm Lukalak, and I am playing Aminta Nightwatch, the owl. And I have been spending my chits in bars, drinking away the horrors that I have seen, waiting for my next assignment.
Next up,
Hello.
Cole.
Yes, my name is Nicholas Sparks, aka Nick Sparks. I have been writing in secret. No one is supposed to know that I'm the next great a Corrosian novelist, and I've been inhabiting the same bar but trying to ignore Aminta because she likes to make fun of me. And I'm ready for the next job. All glory. And next up is Purple Phil.
Hello, I'm Purple Phil, and I'll be playing Amison Booker, the anchor, and he has also been drinking away his woes, but not at the bar. He buys a bottle and leaves, and drinks by himself somewhere else. But with that, I'll pass it over to Lizzie.
Yeah, hey guys. I will be playing Lenia. She is the spider. And she has been spending her downtime working a side job. She took a little side job as if being a line bull wasn't bad enough. The local crematorium, helping people, at the end of the road. At the end of the line. But then,
Hey, I was waiting for it.
hey.
Well, I'm glad to have you all back at my table, and I hope you're going to have a good time tonight. Now let's get started. The mission request was brief. Report immediately to TYRMOOR for special deployment by order of His Majesty Prince of the Imperium TESSARRIUS. Stop. End of message. Ever since the mysterious disappearance of Prince Pentalion this past winter, the rumor mill has been churning out hundreds of theories, creating chaos for the Imperial Guard in Lockport. None of them quite reach the horror that the four of you know to be the truth behind his disappearance. But the train between TYRMOOR and Arvada is bringing back those memories with a passion. The train, with its mysterious passengers strapped to one of the freight cars, embarks over a thin strip of track across the immense and dark void sea, choppy water slapping against the sides of the support beams far below. The train is nearly empty except for two other passengers, a tall, spindly man with a military haircut and a lieutenant uniform, as well as a squat, curious-looking woman with great bunches of gray hair, pulled into a tight bun on the back of her head. The six of you are sat together in the only passenger car, the wide, misty air obscuring the void sea in patches as it wanders over the top of the waves. Which one of you would be the first person to break the silence?
Oh boy, don't we all know it's me? How's it going, everybody? Aren't you so glad to be on another mission for His Infernal Majesty? Do we call them missions?
Assignment?
Oh yeah,
Job?
that's probably right, but not quite as cool. How tall is that other guy?
I'd say the other guy is fairly tall. He's pretty thin and spindly, but built, you know, it's not big, but it's well built.
Is he 5'11" tall, or is he like actually 6'2"?
I'd say closer to 6'2". The woman is probably around, 5'4" or so. She has a leather-bound notebook in her lap, and she's scribbling notes all over the place. And she is spending her time looking out of one of the windows.
Turning to Amazon, I don't trust anyone that's taller than me. Keep an eye on that guy.
I can do that, but I ain't gonna tell you I don't trust you either.
What have I ever done to you?
Do I have to get the list out?
No, it's fine. I'll just go back to notating about the mission.
You sure do like to notate.
It's always good to keep a good notebook.
The lieutenant will look at you across the car and just say, we'll get more information when we arrive.
Did you say where we were headed?
You don't know. You are on the northern edge of Severos, heading towards Arvada, but you're not entirely sure where you're heading right now.
When we arrive, where? And I'll just kind of speak up from where I am bobbing and weaving a little bit unsteady.
Are you a little bit drunk, or...
Possibly.
I would get yourself together. My name is Lieutenant Finn Danfield. We'll be arriving at a secret location very shortly, and I'd like to give you more information on the mission brief at the mission briefing. It shouldn't be more than an hour.
I am together.
Yeah, little do you know, she works best a couple bottles deep.
I find that...
What he
well,
said.
I don't believe that.
Well, you didn't take down some big scary monster a couple weeks ago now, did you?
You take care of big scary monsters every week, don't you?
Not like this one.
What I call my emotional state. Yeah, yep.
And what exactly mythical beast did you slay? At that, the woman with the gray hair perks up and leans in to hear the conversation.
You guys remember
Wasn't a
what that thing was
beast.
called?
God
It
of
was
death,
like
I
some
thought.
god of the underworld or something.
Yeah, no biggie.
Definitely not some beast, some little kitten.
The woman will look at the lieutenant, and the two of them will smirk, and she'll say to you, "Are you telling me you killed a god?"
Well, it didn't kill us. GM, I don't actually remember if we killed it or we just got away from it.
You did just get away from it.
Yeah, okay.
No way, we blew it up. I remember we had this cool plan, and you
yeah.
were like, psh, 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 psh.
Well, then I'll say you don't know if you destroyed it or not.
It was really hard to write in my notebook at that time, though, so unfortunately I don't have the details properly written down, but...
And just what god are you talking about?
We said god of the underworld or something.
Oh, we all know there's plenty of those. You see, I was reading recently, and she reaches into a big, thick, really bulky backpack and ruffles around and grabs one of the books from in between two books that are slamming it together, and flips through the pages a little bit and says, "Yes, here it is. I was reading recently about the story of Janos, the goddess of the sea. She sails in the northern void sea with a ship full of dead pirates who died in her waters. She protects Skovlan from intruders and is in command of a giant squid known as a kraken."
Well, it wasn't that one.
Well, I love these kinds of stories. You there, Lieutenant? Did you Mr. Danfield? Did you ever hear any of these fun stories from when you were a kid? Finn looks at the woman with the gray hair and says, "Well, I do remember when I was young. My mom used to tell me stories about the witch sisters, Kandra and Vey, who created the first hollows by capturing people's souls. They were imprisoned on an island somewhere in the Void Sea, and they still lure sailors who venture too close to their shore." Suddenly, Finn has a southern accent, I guess. Now, I don't believe any of these stories, obviously. They were just when I was a kid. But, do you have any favorite stories other than this god you slay?
I heard of a patch of seaweed that will eat people.
Is that it?
I'm gonna give her like a this and then walk off, just drinking. Is that it?
So the lieutenant will look at you and just say, "Well, I don't know about any of that. I'm sure that whatever we are investigating is a little more natural than that."
Those stories may not be true, but the ghosts around are true enough.
And the woman with the gray hair looks at you and says, "Oh, really? I mean, I've heard of line bowls, and obviously they are essential work for the railroad, but I do wonder what it's like to deal with ghosts on a regular basis. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Emmeline Haig. I'm an oceanic biophilosopher. Dr. Emmeline Haig, I'm sorry."
Jameson will just look at her hand and won't shake it. Just don't sound so happy about it. It's not fun.
"Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make light of a dark or important job, but just it seemed interesting. I study marine life mostly, so I just have never had a chance to even. I've never really been outside the city other than today."
You were lucky until today.
Well, I certainly hope that everything goes well. I'm very excited. I'm not totally sure what we'll be exploring, but I'm sure it's interesting. I've never been this far north. And something tells me that's about where the conversation ends. Unless any of you want to do anything while you're on the train.
Lenia would be silent for pretty much the whole trip, not having too much to say, but she would try to see what this woman is writing about, for sure. Trying to be sneaky about it.
That sounds like a roll. Could you roll in finesse for me to see if you can sneakily see what she is drawing?
So, Proper, help me understand how I'm reading this. The bonus is not the 2, the finesse is the 2, so it should just be the 4 and the 5 plus 2, not 4.
Yeah, I don't know what the bonus is you're getting from. If I need to look at that, hold on.
So it would be 11.
Oh yeah, they don't add
9
things
plus
for you,
11.
so yeah, it'd be 9 plus 2 would be 11. So for on a 10 or 11, you choose 2 of the effects in the finesse column. You do it quickly, you avoid trouble, or you do it impressively.
She wouldn't be in a hurry to do it because she would be stuck there on the train anyways. So she would want to do it avoiding anyone noticing her and to get as much information about what she's writing about as possible.
What I'll say is, unless you want to narrate how you do this, she will suddenly think of something and root around in her backpack. And while she's doing it, you're able to pick up the notebook and scan through as many pages as you like. You find that she is drawing, as she said, she is an oceanic biophilosopher, and she is studying marine life. She has drawings of all kinds of things, but the one she's been working on most recently is that of a giant squid.
Check.
I'm sorry about the rest of them. They don't deal with the living much in our line of work, and their conversational aptitude is not quite there. But
I'm just gonna cough and say, tourist.
something forest? Did you see a forest?
Something stuck in my throat.
Oh, okay. But it's nice meeting you two. I'm gonna go and prepare myself, get in the right headspace for the mission and everything. So nice to meet you.
So I will say that is probably about when you start to arrive at your destination. At least that's what it appears to be. Just over the horizon, a huge crescent-shaped island reveals itself from under the shade of mist. A rail line curves around one side of it and continues onward over the sea to Skovlan. But with a clunk, your train car shifts onto a new track and winds its way to a cove inside the island. As you arrive at the station, a camouflaged warehouse straddles the shoreline, and the rail car winds to a halt at the end of the line. Thick, muscular Imperial Guard in full honor armor stand at attention around the base and along the road between the station and this building. You are quickly and quietly ushered into the building as you watch your encounter suits being carted into another area of the building, and others beginning to disassemble the rigging holding the mysterious cargo. You are seated around a large table, and in the semi-darkness you hear, "All rise for His Majesty, Prince Admiral of the Imperial Navy, TESSARRIUS of Severos." In that moment, another man, a little shorter than the lieutenant, comes into the room with dark, curly hair. And he is the most imposing man you've probably seen in quite a long time. He is royalty for sure. And he sits down at the end of the table and nods curtly at the lieutenant and allows you all to sit for the moment. Welcome, everyone. This mission is simple. We're heading down to the depths to discover the creatures that have been causing havoc on the tracks here. I'm not sure if you've heard, we've tried to cover up the news, but several envoys of diplomats and military personnel have gone missing on this line of track, and we're here to investigate those disappearances. Lieutenant and Lieutenant Dan what is his name? Jesus. Finn Danfield, there we go. Will stand up and he'll start to talk about the news of the missing train cars that have never arrived in Arvada. And generally what you learn in this meeting is that ever since Prince Pantaleon went mysteriously missing, attention has had to been put into the imperial cities on the coasts of Skovlan. The most recent one to join the Imperium, there is a bit of unrest in the continent, and so they've tried bringing in diplomats and ambassadors and military personnel and other folks, and they've all gone missing over this line of track somewhere. And at this, the lieutenant's going to turn over to one of the windows, and he's going to open up the blinds and ask you to join him. As you all line up near dark windows, you can see in the next room is the giant holding bay for a massive, long, sort of iridescent, dark vehicle of some kind. It's something you've never seen before. It looks sort of like a train, but has no wheels, and a large cap on the top. The lieutenant says, "This is incredibly secret information. So I will understand. I would prefer if you do not utter this to anyone after the mission is done. This is the HMS Pantaleon, top secret technology fueled by lightning oil engines, and it is a submersible vehicle that will reach the dark, dark depths of the Void Sea. You'll meet engineer Carol Strangford. She's the one who engineered this entire operation, and she'll be the one mostly running the submersible. Do you have any questions?"
You're telling me that's some kind of water train?
I guess that's a good way of putting it, yes. It's not quite on tracks like a train would, but it is able to navigate the Void Sea. It has very powerful lights to see what may be out there, and it is able to explore up to depths of several hundreds of thousands of meters. We don't know what is down there. It's something that's never been done before, but that's why you're here. The line bulls are here for the protection of everyone. Your encounter suits will work just fine the way they do in air, but we do ask you to be careful, as your breather masks are likely to break if you're not careful with them, and we may not have the tools to fix them. So be very careful, understand?
Just to confirm, you are wanting us to go in that and then go in the water.
Yes, that is generally the vibe. Obviously, you're also here to protect His Majesty, Prince TESSARRIUS. It's a matter of grave importance to the Imperium, you understand.
Of course, of course. So like, a lot of the time on the train, we have to get out and around the train and on top of the train. You're saying our equipment will be fine underwater?
Yes, your mag boots should work just the same as they normally do. And your, what do you call them? Your encounter suits, yes. He looks through his notes. Your encounter suits should protect you under the water for both the pressure and the oxygen.
I just look at the others like he didn't sound so sure of himself, but try not to say anything. Okay. Okay.
Now, I'm sure you are rightfully a little bit scared, but I'm sure people of your occupation have ways of working around that. I, for one, am normally part of the Imperial Navy. Sure, our boats might glide in the water, but never underneath it all that much. So it's a new experience for all of us, let's say. But I'm sure His Majesty the Prince believes in you utterly.
So just asking for someone who's totally not me, what if someone in our party can't swim?
I think you should rely on your magnetic boots, then.
Cool. Did you hear that, Lenia? Make sure you have your boots.
If all goes well, you won't even have to leave the ship. But we're not sure what's down there, and something has destroyed not one but 3 different trains. It's cost the Imperium thousands of dollars, and we would like to repopulate Skovlan with some Imperial guards as soon as possible.
Our suits are work underwater, but what about the lightning hooks? We're not going to be able to do much if we can't use them.
We have tested them, and they work to a degree. It'll be a little harder to use those, but I think you'll find you'll rise to the occasion.
Great. This is hazard pay, right?
Of course.
At least we got that to look forward to.
And obviously, if all goes well, you'll have the favor of the prince. I doubt there'll be anything you can't do.
I can think of a couple things.
Oh, don't be so negative. We got this.
I think
All
that's
right,
where
let's
my
go.
professional intrigue ends there. We'll be descending at sundown, so get yourselves ready, and we will embark shortly. You're relieved. And with that, the prince will stand up and walk out of the room, and we will see the scene shift as you are all getting ready and packing away your encounter suits, getting into the HMS Pentalion, the top secret submersible vehicle, and slowly descending into the depths of the Void Sea. It is cramped and metal and dark, and as soon as you dip under the water, the sound of the perpetual rain outside seems to disappear, and you're surrounded by the dark and quiet underwater. The submersible is loud and makes lots of clunking metallic sounds as you go, but for the beginning of your journey, it's pretty, I would say, safe sailing. How are you settling in on the submersible?
I mean, I know what most everyone else is doing. They're drinking heavily, but
Drinking heavily, and I'm just like walking down the little tiny hallways, just like trying not to hear like any of the creaking sounds that come from just being in this vessel.
I think Amoson's actually not drinking while on the job.
I'm glad someone's sober.
Yeah, he's actually walking around pretty confidently on the sub. Doesn't seem like there's any problems Maybe like for a little bit, it's like a little bit like he expects it to jostle like a train, and so he's like expecting to move, but it's probably like a lot smoother, I assume, in a sub.
I think you might find yourselves in the bridge with the lieutenant is currently navigating at the helm, and the two of you are talking about what you expect to see and how you're adjusting to life under the water. Anyone else?
How do you say your character's name again, Chrissy? I'm so sorry.
Lenia, you said it right.
Lenia. Cool. I'm so good. Before we embarked, I totally would have asked Lenia, what food tastes better or best underwater?
I have no idea, Nick.
Well, I think it's probably a sandwich, so I'm sitting eating my sandwich, being pretty proud of myself. It does taste pretty good underwater.
Good. That's great.
Where did you get a sandwich from?
I made it out of whatever I could find. I am well known for making sandwiches out of anything. As long as it's got 2 pieces of something and something else in the middle, it's good enough for me.
We will say you found the MREs, the canned goods, and the saltiest foods you can find on a ship. There's not a fully stocked kitchen of any kind here, but there is rations. So you have
what kind of MREs though? We got the spice bread or the chicken tetrazzini?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kinds of MREs do you think they have in the Imperium?
I don't know, but if they got those big cracker things, it's like the bread, but you can put the cheese spread on it. It's like modern hardtack.
It's probably
So
more
good.
like 2 protein blocks with one single blueberry smashed between them.
Something like that. Yeah, I'd say so.
Lenia would be definitely attempting to find some sort of coffee or caffeine energy drink of some type. She would probably not necessarily be drinking alcohol, but doing something to help her focus.
Okay, I would say you'll probably find the engineer. So you wander the halls, you find nothing in the kitchen. You find yourself wandering down a dark and kind of it's brand new, so everything's clean. But you hear someone pacing and clacking and making all kinds of sounds at the back of the ship. That is called the stern. I definitely knew that one. And in the engine room, you're gonna find a short woman with very short cut hair. And she'll look up at you and say, what are you doing here in the engine room?
Looking for some coffee?
They don't have coffee here, but they have, I don't know, something like coffee. And she'll hand you her thermos of a dark liquid, not entirely unlike coffee.
Thanks. What is this if this isn't coffee?
It's some kind of Severosian tea, I believe. But it certainly wakes you up, don't you worry.
That's all I needed. Thank you.
And Luke, are you drinking with Sandwich Boy?
Yeah, I will absolutely just slump down somewhere next to him drinking, and I will have found some sort of hardtack, something to put the cheesy spread on, and I'm just eating it.
I think your cheesy spread is, again, not entirely unlike cheese.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not like cheese. It's cheesy spread, but it's spelled with a Z, so it's not actually containing any sort of dairy product or any
dairy
actual
supplements.
cheese.
Yeah, exactly. It's been about an hour since you have joined the HMS Pentalion, and you'll hear, the occasional clunk or some metal straining, but it goes away pretty quickly. But suddenly you're going to hear a loud groan, a grinding whine, and then a thunk. The submersible lurches to a stop, and the lightning oil lamps throughout the ship flicker and dim a little bit. As the vehicle slowly drifts through the void sea, you notice dark shapes passing by the portholes. In the hallway, you see Dr. Haig rush by, and Amison, you're going to notice her as she runs up into the bridge to see what is through the massive, thick glass windows in the front of the submersible.
Yeah, he'll follow her.
Oh, it's so fascinating. Is there something out there? I don't know why we've stopped. Lieutenant? And the lieutenant's going to start fiddling with the dials and the knobs and whatnot at the front of the ship, and just say, something's gone wrong. I think the engine might be, I don't know, something's wrong. We're not moving. And out of the corner of your eye, Emerson, you'll notice that the Admiral Prince has been there the entire time. He turns to you and says, sorry, I guess. Yeah. He'll turn to you and say, you stay here with the lieutenant. I'm going to get the others to investigate what's happening in the back of the ship. If anything happens, let me know. And he will
Sure.
He will leave the room, and he will find Nick on his way. He will give a disapproving look at Aminta and just say, Nick, would you follow me, please?
Me?
Yes, Nick Sparks, that is you, correct?
Yes. Okay. Yep, coming.
And,
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm gonna just stand up and put on my spirit goggles and, ready my, lightning rod and cables.
okay.
Get my oil canister just ready, just in case something pops through.
Nick, you join Lenia and Caro in the stern of the ship, and you see that Caro is confused, and she is scratching her head, and she is tinkering with things in the engine room. And as you close the door, Aminta, you hear a scream. The Dr. Emmeline Haig is screaming in the bridge of the submarine. Suddenly, her voice halts, and she seems to be choking on something. Amison, you're right next to her, and she seems to be choking on something that she wasn't drinking or eating anything before that, but something definitely has a hold of her. What do you do?
He's gonna probably assume that she's got excited and is choking on her own tongue or something, and he's just gonna try and do the slap on the back type thing.
As you do, spurts of salt water are rushing out of her mouth every time you hit her. And she looks at you as her face goes pale. And she falls to the ground, trying her best to get the water out of her lungs. You look up and see a spirit against the window. And its face is wrinkled, and you know how when you go in a bath and your fingers get all wrinkly? Their whole skin of this man is wrinkled to hell, almost falling off his body. What do you do?
So he's outside the
Correct.
he's probably first thing I'm gonna do is just look at the biologist and just say, "Hey, I told you it wasn't fun." I'm gonna have to suit up to get outside.
Aminta, are you already there?
Yeah, I mean, I put on the spirit goggles so I could see anything that was happening, and I would have followed any sort of trace or sign of ghosts, readying my gear. I'm going on the hunt.
You two step into the airlock where you can put on your encounter suits. And Aminta, you notice another trace of some kind of spirit in the air around you. And you try to swallow for a moment and find that it's getting harder and harder to keep your lips moist. But you don your encounter suits and get ready in the airlock. Anything else you want to do before you prepare yourselves to leave the ship?
You doing all right there?
Yeah, something's in the air.
Yeah, too much to drink. Let's go.
Nah.
As you don your encounter suits and prepare the levers, the room is going to fill up slowly with salt water. And as soon as it's empty, as it's totally full of water, you can open the door to the outside world.
All right, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna make, like, holding on to the inside of this thing. I'm gonna make sure that I can put my leg out, and I feel the pull of the mag on my boot.
Okay. Outside, you see more of that kind of spiritly light that you know from your goggles. And outside the ship as well, you notice a man who looks completely out of place. His skin is taut and cracked, white dehydration marks all over his body, as if he desperately needs water. And he is on you in a moment, trying to, take your moisture. I'm going to ask you to steel yourself against supernatural horror. Aminta, please roll plus steel. You're going to choose one of the actions you hope you do not do before you roll.
One of the actions I do not do, one of the actions I do not want to freeze.
Okay.
That is what I do not want to do.
Cool. Now roll plus steel and see how you recover.
Alright, so a 1 + 5.
That's a 6, and you have anything in steel?
No bonus in steel.
Okay, on a miss, you do the one thing you didn't want. You
Alright.
freeze up, and you can feel as the moisture leaves your mouth almost entirely. Please take 1 harm.
Okay.
And, Amison, it's your turn.
All right. How far away from this? So we're like outside on the sub using the mag boots at this point.
I'd say the entire ship is probably around like a football field.
This is pretty big. Is this guy that's on Amison like close to the ground, or is he like far away, or close to the sub, I guess, or is he far away?
I'd say if he sees you coming for him, he will try to attack you.
Alright, well, I'm gonna try and come for him, so... if he's on my buddy, I'm gonna try and change that. So I'll see if I can't get my lightning hook out.
Okay.
Get ready to go in.
Which one are you going for then? You're going for the dehydrated one?
Yeah, I think so. That's the one on Amita. Is the other one still at the front of the sub, or is it like next to us at this point?
Yes.
Okay. One of those two.
Sorry, it is at the front of the sub.
Okay.
You kept on going, and I was like,
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. So I'll go for it. Do you want me to roll for that? Or...
What are you doing first?
I'm trying to swing at this guy with the lightning hook.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would say roll force.
Okay. going to be an 8.
Okay, on a 7 through 9, you choose one of the force actions.
I'll do the you suffer little harm in return.
Okay, why don't you narrate how that looks and what happens? You're the first person to use any of your lightning weapons under the water, so feel free to describe how that works out for you.
Yeah, I do have a question just to make sure I understand some of the other bonuses. One of my bonuses is +1 harm. Is that my harm or the harm I do?
I'd say that's +1 harm to your enemies.
Okay, so just so you know that, I don't know if that makes a big difference on this one, but yeah, he's gonna kind of go up, and his lightning hook is more of a physical hook, and just gonna try and get in there and like pry this ghost off of Aminta, and he lightnings it up. It kind of normally has like a bright blue glow, kind of like the logo that you have on on the logo screen that you had for this. So kind of that blue look, but when it's underwater, it kind of almost gets more of like a sickly green, almost like towards like a uranium color.
I like it.
And it shocks a little bit, and it kind of almost spreads out like a giant web of spiders, but then it like slowly retracts after it started. And he's just gonna grab the ghost, and it's gonna try and like shock through it a little bit as he tries to pull it off, but is mostly just going to do damage. I don't know if that's going to actually take it off, though.
I'd say that it'll latch on to the lightning hook, and it is you can see that because its skin is so dehydrated, it starts to singe and burn, and it has pulled it away from Aminta for now. But I'd like to move back to our other team and see what they're dealing with. The two of you, or actually the four of you, the Prince Admiral, we have Nick and Lenia, and Caro Strangford. The four of you are inside the ship, and when suddenly out from one of the engine bursts two writhing heads, electric eels with bright blue glowing sides, pour out of the machine and slither away underneath one of the engines. You recognize these as the ghosts of an animal, which is something you don't see very often, but you know exists. What do you do?
So, knowing that she doesn't have any of her gear on her, she just probably would have like her normal work shirt and like cap and the whole 9 yards, probably a set of heavy gloves, not necessarily like her encounter suit.
Okay.
Lenia, without thinking, would probably move to like grab whatever she could without thinking, like just the automatic like reach. You know how like when something's about to fall off a table, you automatically go to grab for it? She would probably do something stupid like that without even realizing she was doing it, because she is naturally nimble and swift.
Okay, what do you pick up?
Anything near me that could be a weapon.
Oh no, I'm saying describe what you picked. Like, tell me.
Yeah, so I would assume probably Caro Syrup has like instruments around, like things that she works on the engine. So like a heavy mallet or some sort of like wrench or something like that.
Okay. You pick up that giant wrench and try to defend yourself, I assume?
Well, she's just holding to see what happens.
Okay.
Because she knows she doesn't have her encounter suit, so she's not entirely sure how we're going to wrangle this thing yet. So she would probably turn to Nick like, what are we doing, bud?
Oh boy, definitely put on my goggles to protect my lovely blue eyes real quick. We should probably run and get our suits real quick, and I'll try to run to the door that closed behind us and open it. No worries, Prince. We got this. Just stay out of the way. Be careful. Save yourself.
Yeah, Lenia is going to hear that and attempt to get the prince out of the room.
Okay. You protect you back the prince and usher him out of the room as quickly as you can. Nick, you are sprinting for your equipment, and as you do, two thick and writhing eels are going to hurtle down the hallway, disappearing into and out of the walls as they go after the one thing that's moving in front of them. Quickly back to our friends topside. Amison, you feel something touch your shoulder, and your shoulder goes cold. Please steel yourself against duress, adding whatever steel you have to the roll. You're going to tell me one thing you wish you do not do.
Okay. I'll go with panic. Disengage, flee.
Okay.
I think that's it. Yeah, let me get the roll here. And I'm going to use my +2 from the chat.
Excellent.
It's going to be, what is that, 11? I think that's a success.
Excellent. On a 10 plus, you do none of them. So there is the ghost you saw at the beginning of the ship, and you start to feel the taste of salt water in your mouth, but you get out of the way before you seal yourself against the horrors of this ghost and are able to turn around in time and defend yourself. What do you do?
I think, yeah, feeling that salt water coming, he just kind of like confidently takes like a spit in his suit. And that's what he does to kind of clear it, like his mind from it, of like kind of taking that physical action is something that kind of helped him do it. Is the other one, so I pulled the other one off of Aminta yet, but
Yep.
I'm probably still like kind of engaged with it, and then the other one's behind me.
Yep.
That's the way I kind of picture it. I think
If you want,
it's
we
just
can
gonna-
let Aminta go first.
Yeah, I'll let Aminta go first. That works.
Aminta, what are you doing? You have just been pulled a ghost off of you, and you can see that there is new one attacking Amison from behind.
So I said I had kind of readied my stuff. I would like to deploy my lightning cage now.
Okay. I'll ask you to roll finesse for me.
Okay. Seven.
On a 7 to 9, you do one of the things under finesse, and you can describe how that looks as you do it. A 7 to 9 is a mixed success, so you're gonna do it, but you're only gonna get away with one of these things.
I do it quickly.
Okay. As soon as you see Amison spit into his encounter suit, he pulls himself away from the ghost, and you're able to fling this thing directly at the ghost. What does that look like?
So, I would have liked to think that, in this environment, before we got on the thing, I could have adjusted it just a little bit.
Okay.
So it goes out more like a fishing net rather than like an actual, like, cage, how it was before.
Okay.
Since we're dealing with water. So it's just kind of like this net that goes out, sparking that now uranium kind of green energy, and will wrap around and entangle the ghost.
Excellent. Back to you, Amison.
Alright, with that one kind of entangled, he'll kind of focus to the other one that is snuck up behind him, and kind of just, again, take a similar motion, get out his hook, and in this case, instead of trying to pull it off, he's just going to try and, like, shove at it and push it away, but...
Okay. Which one is this? This is the dehydrated one?
I think this is the drowning one. The one that attacked me, not the one that attacked me.
So the one that attacked you is currently in a net.
Oh, that's the one that... Okay, then the one that attacked me does. Sorry.
Perfect.
Which target did which?
No
thing?
worries,
Okay.
just trying to keep
We're
the
getting
scene
each
clear.
other's ghosts.
We're taking each other's ghosts.
I appreciate the teamwork. How are you doing that again? With what?
So I'm just taking the hook and just kind of shoving it into it and
yes.
push it away.
I like this.
Instead of pulling away, now I'm pushing it.
Okay, this is then again a force move.
Okay. No bonus on this.
This music is a.
I think it's only a 6. Yeah.
Oh no, only a 6. Yeah, 2 + 3 + 1. Jesus. You fail the move, which means that what I'll say is what happens is you're still getting used to using this under the water, and something disengages in your lightning hook, and your next use of one of your lightning oil canisters doesn't work properly, and it jams the lightning stick, the lightning hook. And with that advantage, since the lightning hook is not electrically charged right now, he's going to take the thing away from you and pull you closer to him. So if you
just pull me closer, do I lose it?
I'd say you're gonna pull him closer, but I want you to.
It pulls me closer.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
I think that's yes. You are pulled closer to him, and you are now in danger of getting hurt. This one is you are going to feel this one as soon as you get close to it, a pounding headache, and you feel like you want to sleep. While we're switching over to our other players, I want you to roll to steel yourself against duress. Okay, back in the stern of the ship as you are hurtling towards the airlock for your encounter suits. Lenia, tell me what you're doing.
Lenia would not be moving as quickly as she wants to be because Nick has taken off and kind of left her to deal with the prince. So she's kind of playing bodyguard, which she does is not particularly her forte. So she is like, they're speed walking behind, I would assume.
Okay.
Whereas like Nick darted, she is trying to keep them close together, not separated, with a big wrench.
Where are you putting him? Or are you keeping them all together?
Everybody together.
Okay.
And I would probably put him in the center, allowing, I keep calling her Caro Syrup because I don't remember her name. Cara? Caro?
Just Kara.
Oh, okay. If she comes along, I would put her and I on either side, considering he is royalty.
She is taking the distraction you've created to try to get the ship back in working order, but you are directly in front of 2 ghostly eels coming for you. Are you going to attempt to like survey the scene and figure out what's going on, or are you going to try to attack these things?
Well, I was under the impression they were chasing Nick because he took off and you said they were following the thing that was moving fast. So did they stop and like?
I'll say that they're
turn
going
face?
after Nick, and you were able to push the prince into a corner for a moment, and they'll speed past you for now. That means Nick, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm running to get the suits and like not quite understanding what this creature is, and I just have normal goggles. I'm like kicking out at them. Are you a ghost? Are you a ghost? And if I connect, my foot will probably go through them, which will answer my question, but I'm just running to try to get my at least my heavy lightning hook and try to pick up as much of Lenia's gear as I can as well.
Great. I'm going to ask you to roll finesse, which is part of your, like, how quickly can you get to the gear, and can you get as much gear as you need?
So that is going to be an 8 total.
On a 7 through 9, you choose one of the options under finesse.
GM, can I assist with a +2? Because one of my skills is to be attuned to my team.
Fascinating. Where's that?
It's under Aruvia, and it was the third thing that I chose. It says attuned. Assist is +2.
Gotcha. So,
Can I throw my very large wrench in an opposite direction to distract these creatures for a split
perfect.
second?
So what that means is that when you make any move, either a force, finesse, insight, or steal move, you can, instead of doing one of the options, choose to assist someone or interfere with someone. So if you want to try to distract this thing by throwing your wrench, then I can definitely let you assist him. I would make an argument for anyone, but why don't you... why don't you steel yourself against supernatural horrors and see if you're able to react in time. Does that make sense?
No, I don't.
What did you roll? I need to know.
4.
Oh no. So you do not either. How do you want to say that you fail on this? Do you either not throw it, or do you throw it too late?
Absolutely throw it too late.
Gotcha. You are trying to take care of the prince, and you're trying to do too many things at once. You throw this wrench across the room. It clangs against something on the other side of the submersible, and the eels go chasing after Nick without stopping. Nick, did you roll already?
Yeah, I just need to choose my one thing, and
Yep.
I think the most important is to do it quickly, so I choose to do it quickly.
Okay. I'll say you're able to get at least one weapon for both of you, but not all of your gear. And I will say that as you are exiting the... because you did not choose Avoid Trouble, I'll say that one of them does catch up with you. And you run into it as you are exiting the airlock room. Or the room where you have your supplies. Steel yourself against injury, please.
Oh, yes. Let's see. Wonderful. A 7.
On a 7 to 9, you're gonna do one of the things, but not the one. But I'm gonna pick it. So choose one you don't do.
I do not collapse, let go, give up, keep running.
Okay. As the eel collides with you, it actually does move through your body, but it sends shocks throughout your you don't let go of the items because they are almost cemented to your hands as the electricity courses through your body. But you are going to take 2 harm. So
Wonderful.
The little clock section is a little weird, but just kind of keep track of how much harm you have.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how it would happen. I know that, like, it's gonna hurt, but I know that they're also incorporeal. That's the right word, right?
Oh, geez, now I can't say incorporeal.
Yeah. So I just and I just run straight through the eels.
Incorporeal.
And just keep
There we
going.
go.
So 2 harm.
Excellent. I will say that you do get a chance to strike back, though, if you'd like. Or you can choose to hand over the weapon to Chrissy first.
Yeah, I'm just running, just barreling straight through them and making sure that Lenia can get armed as well.
Okay. The 2 of you are armed. What did you grab for yourself, and what did you grab for Lenia?
I definitely grabbed my heavy lightning hook, and I grabbed whatever looked like Lenia's. I think there's not anyone else's gear, so I would have grabbed her lightning web thrower for sure.
Okay. As I've been doing, we're going to switch back for a moment. We are back on the outside of the submersible with Amison and with Aminta. Who wants to go first?
I have a question, Jam.
Totally.
I feel like I've been looking here at the beauty. We actually get rid of ghosts once we have them caged.
So
Because I have this cage, but I don't know.
What you know is that lightning oil will destroy rogue spirits completely. So if you can just basically harm them enough with the lightning oil, it will send them... I don't want to say send them to hell, but like it will destroy their spirit. Lightning oil is the one thing you know can destroy a spirit.
Okay. So, physics-wise, how... Do I just, like,
I will say, we are in a
on?
post-fantasy world. I don't think there's anything physics about it. So you tell me what you can do with your cage. Or net, as you say.
Okay, cool. Yeah, with my canister of lightning oil, of which I have extra, because I'm an owl, I'm going to take this cage one and walk up and just like use the like plunger thing on this canister to douse this creature in oil. And I would like to think that this oil is like heavier than water, so while it doesn't blend with the water, it is going to kind of sink and just encase this ghost.
Interesting use. Just so you also know, lightning oil is the thing that powers all of your weapons. So that's what you're doing. But you are using it in its raw form, which is intriguing. I'll say you're gonna...
underwater.
I love it. How does that look, and what happens when you destroy it?
I feel like it's just gonna sink. It's gonna look kind of like darker than the water, and it'll just encase, like, just settle over this ghost, this spirit, and just like eat away at it like acid, I would think.
Wait, I'm sorry, one more time. What did you say? At the very end there?
Eat away at it like acid is the effect I would think that it would have on it.
Eat away like acid. Yep, okay, that's what I heard. Yep, that's definitely what I heard.
What did you hear, Proper?
Nothing at all. Amison, you also have one that you are in basically you are very close to. It is going to reach out to you and grab you by the arm because it has pulled you in close. For the last time, can you steel yourself against this horror?
Did you want my roll from last time? Or
Oh yes, I asked you to do that. So what was it?
It was 13.
Damn. So you do
That's
none
the one
of
thing
them.
I'm good at.
And once again, you are going to feel as the cheeks, your cheeks kind of get sucked in as the moisture kind of dissolves from them. But because he has made connection with you, he has not noticed you deploying your weapon. What do you do to destroy him?
So I think he pulled me in and like my hook went behind him, basically. So like arm around mine. And I'm just going to pull the hook back into his back, basically. And then as it lightens up, it's basically pierced in his back.
Okay.
I think where I'm going to go for it.
I think what that looks like is the unearthly green glow is going to destroy the spirit as you see its image dissolve in the water. And the lightning from your hook is going to dissipate along those directions throughout the area around you before disappearing from sight. The two of you have destroyed the two spirits on the outside of the ship, but there are still two more inside the ship. So I want to see what Nick and Lenia are doing.
I threw Lenia her web thrower doohickey, and I'm like, they're ghosts. I promise, they're actually ghosts. They're not just weird water things.
Sure, okay, weird water things, and she will.
Oh yes, the very famous flying fish.
Yeah, the dummy thick eels. So she will make sure that the prince is like safe behind her, like away, but she will definitely attempt to wrangle them with her web thrower.
You tell me, is that a finesse or a force? I'm thinking finesse.
I would probably say finesse as well.
Okay. Roll finesse for me and let me know what you roll.
An 8 total.
Okay. On a 7 through 9, you choose one of the finesse options.
I will say that I avoid trouble, compromise, or cost.
Okay. Describe to me what your, I think it's a web thrower looks like.
Yeah, so I would assume that it would look similar to what a harpoon would look like if it were a web slinger, which is feels like a very strange sentence to say, but it
Okay.
would obviously have like contraption on the end that there you go. Nick got it.
So, what does it look like when you capture this ghost in your web?
I would say that it's probably still connected like to the actual like harpoon styled gun.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't fully disconnect into a web.
Yep.
Just so that I can keep a hold of it, and
Yep.
I will shout to Nick, get your ass over here with some lightning oil and get rid of these things.
Oh, hey, it's not usually my job to get rid of them, but okay. Is there, oh no. So she has one kind of captured in a web thrower, right? Which would leave one more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, I guess, try to lightning hook the other one and steer it close to the one in the web thrower, and then not really know what to do because I'm used to ripping them off trains. So I'm gonna just try to like slam them together or something with my lightning hook.
Okay.
Where is Emerson? Where's Aminta? I hate doing this with just the two of us.
Would you
Just
please?
yeah, like she will make sure she's explaining like we need to get closer to the rest of my stuff because she has lightning oil. And she is now putting 2 and 2 together that he did not grab all the things that we need.
Unfortunately not, just the weapons. So yeah, I'm lightning hooking one, and I guess we're dragging them back to get lightning oil.
Okay. One is hurtling down the corridor at you. Please roll finesse to use your lightning hook to send it towards the web.
Yeah, that's a 10.
Excellent. On a 10, you're going to choose 2 of the finesse options.
I do it impressively, stylishly, or to great effect, and I avoid trouble, compromise, or cost, because we want to make sure the prince does not get a little hair hurt on his chinny chin chin.
Okay. You grab this thing with your heavy lightning hook and hurl it towards the mesh that is Lenia's web. And I'll say that both of them kind of zap into the lightning oiled web that she has. However, if she doesn't get another use of lightning oil, it will dissipate and no longer be able to hold them in place. Lenia, what are you doing?
She is running quickly towards the rest of her belongings,
Holding
trying
on
to drag these things with her.
Gotcha. I
feel like that might be like a force move.
if you're trying to, well, let's try if you're trying to inflict harm.
Oh,
So,
maybe not harm. Impose your will.
we'll just say you do it.
Okay.
What do you grab while you're there?
Yeah, so she has a bandolier of spirit bottles.
Mm-hmm.
So probably something similar to what she's seen at the crematorium prior to people being, cremated. She would do what she was used to and attempt to extract, or kind of like, whereas Aminta was like kind of like spraying it, she is more or less like withdrawing it and trying to, like, God, what a sentence I'm about to say, suck these creatures into the spirit bottles, which was a sentence, and I hate that I said it out loud.
That sounds exactly correct. So you tell me what that looks like, and I'll say you're gonna roll force to do that.
Yeah, it's just her basically like either like stepping down on top of the like the web thrower to keep it in place, and then just like a syringe, kind of just like pulling the syringe up and filling the spirit bottle with...
Gotcha.
God damn it. I keep making eye contact with Luca. Fuck.
Roll plus force and let me know how it goes.
Uh, 9.
Okay. On a 9, you choose one of them.
I would like to inflict great harm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll say that with that, it is captured in the spirit bottle, and you can see the murky, almost gaseous-like form of one of the spirits as you stop the bottle. It's captured inside, and your web is now discharged, but also empty. That does mean that because which one did you? Yes, I'll say that the other one that was thrown at your web is going to have a chance to attack you. So unless Nick wants to assist you in some way, roll steal, please.
Yeah, I think we're definitely doing this as a team, so I will assist for sure, because we're kind of like trying to handle both of them at the same time using our tools together.
Great, what do you do?
I'm just keep on keeping on, trying to heavy lightning hook the one into the other to assist it down into the being sucked.
Sounds like you're trying to inflict harm on it, so why don't you roll plus force?
You want me to roll steal?
Yes, and you're going to wait until after he rolls force, because if he wants to assist you, he's going to use up one of his options.
That is an 8.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, you choose one, so if you want to assist, that is your 1. You're going to add 1 to your roll, Chrissy.
I'm muted. 11.
11. Excellent. On a 10 plus, you do not do any of the things under steal, so you do not get hurt at all. And in fact, Nick is able to protect you entirely with his hook. If you can stopper this bottle with the spirit inside, you will have defeated the 2 ghosts.
I'm fucking muted. Oh, just unmuted. Just kidding. I will attempt to do that.
Once again, this is a force move.
Or I thought, is it force?
Yes.
Finesse. Oh, okay. Just kidding. Whatever.
They are very similar words.
6.
You do not succeed, and as you are trying your best to get this thing back in the bottle, it escapes. Nick, do you want to try to take this thing out once and for all?
Yes, I do, good sir. Just keeping with the same plan, do you want me to roll force again?
Please do.
All right. That is a 9.
Excellent. Do you want to inflict great harm, suffer little harm in return, or drive them back?
I guess we're inflicting great harm because we're trying to vanquish them, right?
Yes. You use up one of your last lightning oil uses that you have on hand right now, and you just, as the creature is zapped with its traditional blue lightning, it dissipates into the air, and you have successfully destroyed both of these ghostly eels. Excellent job, everyone. The four of you get back together again, and the Prince Admiral is safe. And what do you do as soon as you're back in the ship, Minta and Amison?
Because we're getting back in, I'm just gonna turn. I was hoping to get through this without having a drink, but after that, mighty thirsty.
I'm pulling off my suit and getting out of it, and I will just hand you a flask.
It was in there the entire time?
It was in there the entire time.
Thanks.
Speaking of taking a drink, we're going to take a 5-minute break for everyone to get up and stretch and get some snacks. And when we're back, we're going to be in for some more underwater horror. So please stay with us, and we will see you shortly. Hello, and welcome back to TPK Roleplay's Derelectric 2, The Deep. When we last left our adventurers, they had just fought off some rogue spirits, both inside and outside of the ship, and they are getting back into life aboard a submersible vehicle. We have gathered all of them on the bridge of the submersible, and the Prince Admiral TESSARRIUS is addressing you all. I have spoken to our engineer, Caro. She says it'll take some time for things to get back to working order. We can neither dive nor rise to the surface at the moment, so you'll have to give us time before we continue with our mission. We will figure out what is below, because whatever those rogue spirits were doing, they could not take down an entire train. There is still something in these void sea waters, and we will discover what it is. You should all get some rest, eat something. There are rations in the kitchen area. But it might be a few hours before we're able to continue. What rations are you eating, Luca?
I managed to scrounge up some seaweed wraps, and I've stuffed some crackers into them, and some shrimp that is definitely not shrimp. And I've shoved it all inside the seaweed wrappers and rolled it up. And I'm pouring some kind of sauce that I don't think is supposed to be sauce on it and eating them.
You might as well be eating eggs, just so you put too much hot water in the mix.
There's some crunchy, there's some slimy. It's all very, very good.
It's almost gourmet compared to what you normally eat. So, what do the four of you do besides eating strange concoctions of seaweed wraps? Nick?
When we get back, I of course start talking to everybody. You guys, there were 2 giant, weird, snake-like things, and they were chasing us, and they almost got the prince, and Lenia and I totally kicked their butts. And where were you guys? Like, come on.
We were out there
We're
in
fighting the real ghosts. What we're supposed
the
to be doing,
big
not having
dark
fun with some
water
snakes.
where some ghosties tried to drink me like a juice.
I'm sorry, but hey, ours were real ghosts too.
It's true.
It was quite awful. How did it go out there in the water?
That's fine. We took care of it.
That's fine as long as you don't, like, look around.
What happens if you look around?
Yeah, that's my next question as well.
There's just a lot of dark with other dark moving around in the dark.
I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, I didn't like the look of it.
I didn't really take the time to look around.
Yeah, you never do, Amazon. Did you say one of your fancy one-liners though when you took care of the ghosts?
Yeah, I was working on it, but couldn't quite fathom something.
You and I will
Something like.
workshop. Oh yeah, that does make sense. Your lips look really dry. Do you want some cat grease for those?
Actually, I would love that.
Here you go.
Thank you.
I will say that the four of you each have small but individual bunks if you'd like to spend some time alone. The whole place still smells like iron, and if you've ever been inside of a ship, it's this kind of almost gross, metallic, just bland smell that permeates the air. But you do have something that resembles a bed.
I'm gonna lay down on my bed. I've got an armful of random snacks that I'm just gonna stuff all together and eat.
We'll get to you in a minute. Anyone else?
Lenia would probably take, if they are bunks, the bunk above Aminta.
Okay.
If they are not bunks, she
No,
will just pick a
I did say you
box.
have individual rooms.
Okay, so they're individual rooms. All right. Well, then, yeah, she will also retire to her room.
Okay. Do you sleep well?
Absolutely not.
Good. Emerson?
I think Easton walks around for a bit, just kind of like trying to like almost mostly like move just to move. What he does most of the time on like the train lines anyways, just walking the trains just to go through. So it's a little bit weird with the submarine because it's probably not quite as long and you have to turn around and you have to duck your head a bunch. But he kind of does that for a while and then eventually, yeah, he'll go to his room. He mostly just like sits for a long time and eventually kind of like without realizing it, like nods off almost in a upright seating position on the bunk.
And Nick?
Yeah, definitely enjoying private quarters. I take out my little
Chrissy,
notebook.
you have ruined my brain because all that he said was enjoying private quarters. And I was like, oh no. Sorry, you were saying. Are you writing in your room?
Yes, whoever is in the room next to me can hear me muttering. I'm sure the walls are as thin steel. And I'm just like, oh yeah, and then the two of them, they meet in college. And oh, he's like this really rich kid and you know, she's from a farm family.
Nick, you're speaking out loud again.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just reciting
I don't need
my
to know.
prayers. Oh, okay. Good night, Amazon.
Is it Amazon or Amazon? Just so I can say it right.
Amazon.
Here we go.
Amazon. I always say your name wrong. I'm sorry.
Amazon, you have woken up from your not so deliberate sleep because of Nick's rambling. And you decide to take a walk again into the corridors of the ship. As you do, you make a few circles around the ship, and suddenly you don't know where you are anymore. You go down a corridor you think leads back to your bedroom, but leads to yet again another long, nearly empty corridor with valves and all kinds of ephemera across the walls. And the longer you walk, the more you realize that you have been in the same room over and over and over again, You step over one of the knee knockers into a hallway that should lead you into the engine room, and instead the corridor stretches out deep into a impossibly long ship. What do you do?
Kind of, as he's kind of been figuring out that he's been going in circles. Should have been a. This isn't quite right, and then I think he kind of comes to that last turn that you described, and it kind of stretched out. I think his eyes kind of bulge a little bit as he's a little bit surprised. Oh, this is not good. Anyone else around here?
You call out for anyone around, and your voice echoes along the thin metal walls, but no one responds to your call. You can shout as loud as you want, and your voice will echo loudly back and forth as if it's the room filled with only you. There is no one else in the ship right now.
As he's calling out, it kind of starts off pretty just general asking if anyone can hear him, and then slowly, as there's no response, the calls just kind of get a little bit more desperate. Like, anyone? Oh, it's got to be. And he kind of starts probably switching from standing still first to a slight walk to a brisk walk to eventually he's probably starting to running and turning corners quickly, trying to find anyone.
As you are running, the faster you run, the more you start to trip on the metal grating beneath your feet and the knee knockers between rooms, and you fall to the ground in one and bruise up your elbow pretty badly, and blood starts to gush from your arm. The world is a little blurry right now, and you get up once again and find that the lights are starting to flicker off. You can feel that something has a hold of your darkest fear. You are alone, and you have no idea where you are. What does it feel like as Ameson is gripped by a dread so strong that even he is a little bit scared?
Yeah, I think as he kind of gets up, blood gushing from his arm, kind of realizing, yeah, he's caught in something that he can't fully understand. Probably starts to hyperventilate and just breathing really, really deep and just really rapidly and just not quite sure what's going on. He kind of probably starts looking around frantically, not moving anymore at this point. Whatever it is to stop that, but he's not quite sure what to do. It's probably a lot of sweat beating down his face, and his one eye that's behind the mask is kind of bulging a little bit and closing because it's kind of hard with the mask around it to keep it open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. There's too much more than that. Just kind of frozen in place with his apraxia taking over. Not sure what to do.
I am going to ask you to roll plus steel against a psychic assault from something unknown.
Right. That's a real bad roll. That's a 5.
That's a 5. Choose one of the things that you don't want to do that you do in this moment.
I feel like he's already panicking, so it's kind of hard for me to pick that one, although that one makes the most sense.
I'd say pick another one just to fill out the scene.
I'm gonna go with rage because I think it's a little bit of an interesting way to go with it. So
okay, what does that look like for Ameson?
He starts in the panic, kind of. He's been frozen here, and then he's trying to get a hold of himself, kind of hold his chest to kind of reorient himself, and kind of does that. Just something starts snapping. There's something here, and he just starts smashing his hands around, trying to hit the walls, trying to hit something, hitting these gears. I think he maybe finds a pipe and just starts smashing something. It's got to be it's in the machine. He doesn't know where he's going. Kind of just hitting whatever he can, and he's probably breaking stuff.
As you do, you start pulling things. Things on the ship are ripping apart as you come at them. One by one, the metal of the ship is stripped away, and you are exposing a dark, black exterior. There is nothing beyond this, and as soon as you start raging, you realize that the world around you is dissolving. There is emptiness all around you, and as the rage fills you, the world is disappearing step by step by step. Your fear consumes you entirely, and just like that, you wake up.
I think he's still breathing heavily when he wakes up.
You wake up and find that while you're not bleeding, there is a scar where you fell while you were asleep. Moving on.
Nick, are you still talking over there? Guess it wasn't him this time.
Let's move on to Lenia. You sleep through the sounds of Nick muttering. And when you open your eyes, it is dark, but darker than it should be. You look around and you find that you are deep underwater. You are without your encounter suit, and somehow you're still alive, but you are at the very bottom of the ocean. You know this because the ground beneath you is slightly warm, but the water around you is icy cold. There is barely enough light to see more than an inch in front of you, and you can feel a current as it winds its way around you. What do you do?
Yeah, so she would absolutely start panicking.
Mm-hmm.
And attempt to either sit up, because I don't know if she's still laying down and like technically like in a laying position from sleeping, or if she's like standing. But if she was like waking up and feeling as if she's laying down, she would attempt to like stand and like crawl up, or like attempt to create space somehow, or to get moving somehow.
You try as hard as you can. You focus on your arms and your legs and realize you can no longer move. You are stuck to the ground. You can tell that you are not laying flat against the ground, but you can't tell what's behind you. And there is something approaching you far, far above you. What does Lenia feel to be stuck and immobilized?
Panic. Absolute sheer terror and panic. She would probably be uncharacteristically tearful.
Mm-hmm.
But it would probably be like one of those silent tearful moments where like they're just streaming, but she has like no ability to form a word or yell out for help. Like she would be too probably terrified to do that.
As you are, as tears start to well up and you're able to cry, as you start to cry without your control, and as you do, you look up and your pupils expand. The darkness gets subtly lighter, and just in time for you to see a Goliath of a creature. What do you think? What does that creature look like to Lenia? It is an unknowable evil, stories tall, absolutely massive.
Yeah, so
This
she
is me
probably,
giving you a permission to decide whatever the monster is.
Yeah, so she probably would have, without realizing it, so she would have thought back to that first little bit of the conversation with what was her name? The biophilosopher?
Emmeline Haig.
Emmeline. She probably would have thought about their conversation and wouldn't have necessarily thought of like a kraken or anything like that, but she would have thought back to her knowledge of like various folklore and thought about an old folk story she heard about this like thing called a drogan, which is like kind of a ghost of a drowned person kind of covered in like seaweed and moss and like, but they're kind of just like this Goliath of a folktale. And they like drag people kind of like to the depths, and like the only way she knows to get away from them is to like run to a churchyard or have a cross or something near her. So she probably would have just been picturing something similar to that and trying really hard to think about somewhere spiritual that she could escape to.
Spiritual is an interesting way to put it because the sea gets undeniably quiet. As this drogan approaches you, your ears start to fill with a almost static sound as the sheer nothingness of it all takes you completely by surprise. The drogan approaches you, and you can feel its slimy seaweed as it starts to envelop you. And just like that, you wake up from your nightmare, and that ringing still fills your ears. You're not sure if you can move, and it takes you a few moments before you do. And you shiver because the feeling of that slime on your body is still with you in a weird way. Nick, you hear, in your sleep, you hear someone calling out to you, and I'll say that Amison bangs on the wall between you, waking you up.
Hey, be quiet.
Is this real? Where? Oh,
You were talking again.
we're still on the weird sea train. What time is it?
Time for you to be quiet. We're trying to go to bed.
Oh, well, then why did you wake me? Wait, I was asleep, I thought. I'm so confused. Why did you wake? What?
As you say that, Nick, a drop of water hits your face.
I don't think it's supposed to do that.
Drip, 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 drip.
Guys, is this thing supposed to leak?
No one responds.
Hello? Hello? Oh man, I hate silences. This is weird. Where is the dripping coming from?
You look up and you find that water is dripping in thicker and thicker droplets onto your bed. And as you get up to investigate, you find that your room is already partially filled with water.
Oh no. What color is this water?
Void sea, dark, liquidy. It's not blood.
Oh, help! And I'll like pull the sheet off my bed and I'll start trying to like plug the hole wherever it is.
As you're able to shove your sheets into the hole, you see as the lightning oil lamps in your room dim just ever so much. And as they dim, you can smell as the filament in the bulbs burns and then slowly goes out. You've barely a flicker of light as the water starts to pool around the sheet and starts drenching your hand in cold void sea water.
Oh no, I can't have this happening. Help! Where is everybody?
Suddenly, the lights go out entirely on you, and the water is still rushing around your hands. What is Nick feeling right now? Where are his priorities?
How deep is the water?
How deep is it?
Oh no, it's up above my waist.
Just like that, you hear, but you cannot see, as a pipe bursts over your head and the small drip turns to a torrent of water.
Yeah, at this point I'm freaking out and I'm rushing to the door to try to pull it open.
Please roll to steel yourself against unnatural horrors.
Wonderful. Please work, please work. It's a 9.
You're not going to do one of the things you don't want to do, so pick that now, but I'm going to choose what you do.
Yes, I keep forgetting to do that first.
No worries.
I do not want to collapse because then I will be underwater.
Good idea. However, what you do is, as you are holding on to the door, you find that it's locked, and you cannot let go of the door handle, because as soon as you realize that, all of your hope rushes out of you. Suddenly, you realize you are stuck. Something has locked you in here, and there is no response from anyone else in the ship as the room is filling up. It is up to your chest now, and the void sea water is heavier than normal drinking water. It is thick, and it is pressing against your chest.
I'm gonna start hyperventilating a little, and as it gets deeper and deeper, I can't do this, and I'm just gonna like fall backwards into the water and close my eyes.
Land with a splash, and you feel and taste as briny water enters your mouth. It starts trickling down your throat and into your lungs, and the world goes black. And that's when you wake up.
Oh, hello?
You cough up some void sea water, and it dribbles out onto your bed and onto the floor. It is now dry, but you can't shake the feeling that something is after you. Aminta, you get the gist by now. We flash to see a scene of you back outside the ship. You have just taken down one of the spirits, and in this version of events, the ship lurches back into life as soon as you do that. Quickly, the ship pushes you out of the way and separates you from Amison, who drifts off into the dark and disappears from sight. when suddenly you are hit with a blow to your back that knocks the wind out of you. I'm going to ask you to roll steel against injury. Choose one of the things you don't want to do, and then roll your 2d6.
On steel, I don't want to suffer more harm.
Okay. You feel a crushing blow, and in a moment, the ship again disengages and stops floating. But as it does, it pushes you into this thing, and you are stuck, trapped between a rock and the ship. And your only companion, Amison, has been bumped out off of the ship and into the sea. What is your first reaction to this?
Am I just loose in the sea? I have no connection to the ship?
No, you are crushed between a rock and the ship itself.
I mean, I'm gonna try and wriggle out.
You feel
or make some sort of room for myself.
You feel the rough coral rock behind you press into the back of your encounter suit, and it rips a hole as you try to wiggle your way out.
All right, I'm gonna try and like get out of the suit.
Okay. How do you do that?
I'm gonna try and because I assume it's got one of those big locking, rings that you put the helmet on.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to try and just pull my arms out of the thing and just yank myself out from like where I'm like stuck in the thing and the hole has been formed, and try and like go out the top way, leaving the suit there pinned between the rock and the ship.
Okay. I say as you start to do this, the hole in your suit is larger than you realized, and as you move, water gushes in, chilling you down to the bone. As you try to disengage yourself from the suit, roll me a finesse to try to get out of there.
Okay. $12.
Excellent. You escape. But that does mean you're now in the murky, cold,
Swimming.
void sea water. You've gotten one breath of air, and you push yourselves up, trying your best to find your way to, I assume, the hatch of the ship.
I am actually going to look around for Amison.
Oh, okay. You travel through the water, and as your breath slowly dissipates, you are searching frantically for Amison. What does it feel like as you are trying your best to look for your fallen comrade while slowly losing oxygen?
I feel like everything seems to be getting darker. I feel like I can hear my heart just pounding in my head to the point where I can almost see it flashing in my vision, making it harder to see what I'm doing.
Roll steel against trauma. Oh no, you've already done that. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
But as you are moving, you push yourself further and further from the ship, and soon the murky waters of the Void Sea seem to consume the ship entirely. But you know that Amison is out here somewhere. You swim desperately looking for him as you let go of your breath and feel and see the bubbles press out against the dark, thick Void Sea water. Your body is screaming for oxygen, and as you see your blood pumping in your head, you reflexively try to gasp in air, and your lungs are filled with murky void sea water, and you try your best to cough it up, and you fall out of bed. As the blackness around your eyes very slowly dissipates, you can still feel your heart beating almost loud enough to see it in your vision. And only slowly does your oxygen come back to you.
After, like, coughing and wheezing for a good minute or two, I'm gonna storm my way to Amson's room and just throw open his door and just yell incoherently for a second, and then go back to my room and crawl under the blankets.
Everyone just yelling and talking? It's like, this is time for sleep.
Well, all of you have survived your dread terrors, but all of you, from the nightmares you received overnight, can tell that something is imposing its will on you, trying to drive you away or drive you closer. The night goes on uneventfully, and while you don't rest well, you don't have other terrors as you did earlier. And when the world seems right again, you find Lieutenant Danfield and gather together again on the bridge. Caro is greasy and seems distracted with dark purple bags under her eyes from lack of sleep. Dr. Haig is shaky with big eyes sweeping the room, trying hard to remain calm long enough to make notes in her sketchbook. You do notice one person is missing. The Prince Admiral, TESSARRIUS, has gone missing in the night, and you do not know where he is. But Lieutenant Danfield looks at you all and says, "It is our duty as Imperial Guards to put our lives in danger for the safety of our prince. We must continue looking for him. One of the encounter suits has gone missing, and I think he's found his way outside somehow. I'm not sure what he's looking for or why he's gone out on his own, but we must find him."
So are you saying he has one of our encounter suits or one of his own?
I'm debating that, and I think what I'll say is he has his own.
Well, because I'd have killed him.
That's really good because I fart in mine a lot.
Also that.
Very concerning though. Why would he go out? And are we moving anytime soon, or are we still stationary?
Strangford says that we should be seeing the ship move any soon. As soon as she's able to start the engine again, we should be moving. We're going to continue descending, just as we would be with the Prince Admiral, but our mission has changed slightly to see where he has gone and why he is missing. We don't know if he was attacked in some way or decided to go out on his own, but he was not in his bed when we arose. I assume you all had similar nightmares last night?
Similar to what?
I was, well, my room filled with more spirits than I've ever seen in one place. It was traumatizing, to say the least.
I mean, I had a pretty normal nightmare that, was, yeah, just, failures, normal kind of stuff, nothing crazy.
Well, Caro and Emmeline also had night terrors, and they've kind of stuck with us. Anyway.
Probably not used to seeing ghosts. That happens.
Where is the prince's quarters?
It's a larger room at the end of the hall, if you want to go investigate.
I would.
Let's stick together this time and hope that we don't get separated, because it's really hard to work without all of us together.
Yeah, no going off, getting yourself separated. I'm just looking at Amundsen pointedly.
What did I do? Can you guys? How do you guys see around in here before we go back there? Do you guys like have any like lights or anything outside to see around? See if you can't find where he might have went. Is anything moving out there?
Yes, we do have a. Let me see what it says in my notes.
Any sonar? I don't think I know what sonar is.
I'm not sure what. Is it a mineral of some kind?
Something like that.
We have etheric arc lamps. They're incredibly powerful, and they are fueled by the lightning oil engines. They should be able to pierce the darkness of the void sea up to about 200 meters. Obviously, it's...
you guys start looking?
As soon as the engine is up and running, we will begin our search.
Well, as long as we find the prince, you mean. Don't start it before that.
Just get the engine running to get power. Right.
Yes, of course. Caro, please, can you restart the engines now? And it takes a moment, and you hear some creaks as the engine slowly kicks back into gear, and the metal expands and contracts around you. But eventually, the engine kicks into gear, and the bobbing of the ship slowly subsides as you move forward into the void sea.
Don't move if you don't have to, but look around. We're gonna go check out the room, the prince's room.
Of course. As you are about to leave the room,
holler if you see anything.
As you're about to leave the bridge, you hear a what sounds familiar to you as a lightning crack, because you're often out on top of the train and in dark and stormy nights, and in a similar sound, a bright white light kind of extends the range of your view further into the void sea, and it is eerily dark past the view of this arc light, but it does provide plenty of light for the lieutenant to start looking for anything that's down in the deep. Lenia, you said you wanted to go investigate the quarters?
This is room? Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing?
I will do like an initial once over the room to see what's in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking for like a journal or some sort of like how he's writing, keeping tabs on us, like anything as to what he might have been taking note of, or jotting down to remember for later, or anything similar to that.
If you could roll insight for me, which is kind of this game's version of like an investigation.
4. I'm doing great.
On a 4, I'll say that you don't find much.
Sure.
You find plenty of clothes for the Prince Admiral and some of his belongings, but nothing seems to stick out to you as far as you can tell. Emerson, what are you doing?
I think he kind of just enters and is just going to let everyone else kind of take the look around. I mean, maybe like, is there any bottles of booze out?
We'll say he has a very expensive bottle of liquor in there.
He's gonna eye it for a while and consider taking it and consider if that's treason or if he's gonna be hanged if he does.
Where do you settle on that matter?
I think he's like in the like, it's probably not that bad, but it could be bad. And so he thinks about it for a long time. If we stay here for like a matter of minutes, he'll probably cave and open it though.
Speaking of drinking, Aminta, what are you doing?
I am actually following Amison, just keep an eye on him. However, I am gonna pull down my spirit goggles and just be like looking around to see if anything is looking weird.
Okay. Why don't you also roll insight for me then?
Yes, please.
Are you guys leaving? Not heading the same way? Didn't I just say something about this?
So a 9.
Staying in the room.
On a 9, you hold 1. You can ask me one of the questions, or if you have one that's more relevant, feel free.
What's really going on here?
Okay. I'll say, because you're using your goggles. Are you wearing your goggles all the way down the hallway?
Yeah, I'm gonna just put them on the moment they say that he's missing and start looking around.
You walk down the hallway and you find that in each of the rooms that you pass, there is a trace of what to you looks like normal spirit, like essence, basically. But it's not the same. It doesn't look exactly the same. It's darker and seems to swim in and out of your vision as if it's only half there, and it's thicker as if it's more powerful, and it's interspersed along this entire corridor in each of the corridors where someone is sleeping. And when you enter the larger quarters for the Prince Admiral, TESSARRIUS' room is filled with this in a menacing, almost iridescent way. The essence in this room is something unlike anything you've seen before. Well, actually, maybe you have seen it before. And your memory flashes back for a second to on the train, hurtling back, and the train is just barely edging off of the end of the slowly falling train tracks as they tumbled into the void sea, and the mass of Knossos, that which hungers, consumes your whole vision, and in a fiery explosion, Knossos disappears, and you come back into the present, where you realize you may have seen that same essence around Knossos.
Like, as in, Knossos is alive, or it's a creature similar to him?
The latter.
Okay. Alright. Has Amison found anything as I'm kind of following him around?
Amison, if you'd
He's
also
still debating over that bottle, because
Yes.
I will make the decision for him.
Mm-hmm. You see Aminta grab the bottle off of the nightstand. What kind of liquor do we have here? Feel free to make up any ridiculous fantasy thing.
Ambrosia. It's bright purple.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Ambrosia, the drink of the Imperial Guard. Only the highest ranking officers can even attempt to afford it. But obviously, as Prince, money is no object. Amison, if you would like to roll insight before you get wasted, feel free.
Sure. 7.
On a 7, you get to hold 1 if you want to ask me a question about what you find in this room.
There's specific questions, yeah?
There are, if you want to ask one that's more relevant, feel free.
I think he's trying to, looking at this as Aminta kind of pours a drink, I assume, or maybe 2. I would like to think out of the corner of his eye he might see something. What should I be on the lookout for? This is going to be the question I'm going to ask.
Okay, I'm going to say you find what Lenio was looking for earlier. You find his notebook. However, this is not a diary of any kind. This isn't a calendar. As you search through the pages, you find what looks like a detective's notebook. It has transcriptions of people he's spoken to in interviews. It has notes and connections and addresses for individuals. And as you search through the book, you find a list of names at the end of the book. Just random names that you can tell just from the types of names that they are from all around the Shattered Isles. But mostly of the names of individuals who are probably lower class. People who, as he mentions in his notes, would not be missed. And the list of names goes on for several pages.
Gotcha. I think probably, so yeah, Jameson takes a drink, goes to sit down and set the drink on a table, and he finds the notebook under it and just kind of flips through and goes, hey, Lenia, is this what you're looking for? Got a notebook, got some stuff on it.
She will probably be rifling through his clothes pointlessly and glance over her shoulder and say, well, what does it say?
Too much for reading it, but looks like Prince was kidnapping some poor people. I don't know. Maybe he was taking them on dates.
As you say, kidnapping poor people, she will definitely turn around at that and go, so do you think he's the one causing all the problems with the sleeping then?
I might have something on that. I don't know if you remember that big thing that we fought a little while ago up on the train. But its whole or whatever caused all our weird dreams and is influencing the prince has the same kind of aura. Like, not the same, but same kind.
So are we thinking cult? Or are we thinking sacrifices? I mean, I highly doubt he's taking these people on dates, right?
Wasn't that fancy brass lady talking about some god and her magical octopus pet?
That sounds right.
Squid, yeah.
Yep. True.
Is it possible that that's not just a story?
All
Yeah.
stories come from somewhere, right?
We were on the train. Wasn't there one of the other princes there that was called out to that thing?
Oh shit, was there, Jim?
Pardon?
Was another prince on the train?
Yeah, didn't we lose one?
You know the truth about Prince Pentalion. He was the one who tried to call Knossos for
Oh,
power
goddammit.
and was consumed.
You know, I was starting to wonder, why would they put a prince on some experimental vessel and send him along to come defeat some ghosts and some other creature in the sea? Like, aren't royalty usually sitting, sipping their fancy drinks, whatever they have, and eating, like, biscuits or whatever?
Usually.
You know, what I'm starting to wonder is why we keep getting these assignments.
Yeah, I just figured you guys are bad luck.
It's because we're the best. Come on. That's why. They're
How are
trying to
we
take
the
us out of the
ones?
game. Yeah.
None of my other line work has these kind of problems.
It's because
Yeah,
you're
but
not with the
still
best.
here.
You catch the ghosts, you throw them out, you keep the passengers safe. It's easy, regular work, wears you out, you sleep at night. Nothing like this.
I mean, Jameson, you're still here, so it includes you. But
True.
Yeah, but I'm on my other line work and I don't have problems then.
yeah, wait, that doesn't.
Maybe it's all four of us together. That's fine.
Okay.
I'll give you that one.
All right. There you go. Just a little bit of ownership every once in a while, you know.
As you are discussing this, Dr. Emmeline Haig peeks her head into the room and just says, my geology skills are a little rusty, but I feel like there's something you might want to see out here. And she invites you to come back up to the bridge.
Find something?
It's a little mysterious, something that seems a little out of place, something that I thought we should look into a little bit.
Well, what is it?
It's better to show you, come. And she ushers you down the hallway towards the bridge. And in the bridge, there is obviously dials and levers and a control system of some kind to control the ship. But in front of you are these thick paneled glass windows, these portholes that see just enough out of the outside world for you to control the ship. And just outside, under the light of the etheric arc lamp, is the wall of coral, of stone that slants down into the darker and deeper parts of the deep. But she starts by telling you, as I said, my geography skills are a little rusty. I have not been since university, but this feels older than it should be. The plant life here is older by eons than it should be, and it's truly shocking to see these striations here. But this comes much before the cataclysm. What's more concerning is this, and she asks the lieutenant to steer the ship a little bit further along the coral, and the arc light illuminates huge metal sticking out of the cliff, and if any of you wants to roll insight, the others can assist in some way. If you want to try to figure out what's going on here.
I will let someone else.
I will happily assist somebody.
Yeah, I'll put on my spirit goggles and look around because I got a 3 insight. So let's go. Assist. How much do I put in the bonus?
So I think
Whoever
I have
wants to roll insight can use one of their holds to assist you. So they'll roll first, then you'll roll later.
Yeah, I will roll insight. Just kidding.
How much you
I
get?
won't. A 3.
Jeez, Chrissy, you're rolling really poorly.
fucking hate digital dice.
You can roll with real dice.
I don't have any handy.
It's just 2d6. Go grab your Monopoly game. Unless anyone else wants to, I believe, Aminta, you are rolling alone.
Chrissy did
Alright.
just get an advantage from chat.
Oh, there we go. Roll
Allow
again.
that now, or
If she wants to. It's up to her.
Thanks, chat. I will.
Yeah.
Cornark's also giving you a +2.
All of my stuff is not smarts, so I'm just kind of looking around, not knowing what's going on.
Thanks, Cordark. I'm gonna save the +2 because with my advantage, I rolled a 10, 11.
Excellent. You get to hold 2, so you can ask a question, and if you want to roll, if you want to assist Luca, you can add 1 to their roll.
Go ahead and add 1 to your roll, Luca.
I will.
And
Does it become 2 because of your thing?
Thing? Oh yeah, it does.
I thought you had.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
you're
that's
attuned, right?
yeah. Mine
Add-
was 2. Thanks.
Add 2 to your roll, Luca.
So 10.
Okay. On a 10, you get to hold 2 as well. Lene, you have 1 hold, and Luca, you have 2. What do you want to know about this mysterious occurrence in the sea?
What's really going on here?
Valid question. Can you specify what you want to learn about it?
Well, I suppose ultimately, since Lenia is not familiar with too much of what's happening, or what Emmeline, is that her name?
Emmeline, yep.
Emmeline, what she's attempting to kind of like infer or show us. So I think Lenio is just really trying to figure out, like, how is this related to the prince and what our goal is.
Okay. Let's say, in your experiences on the ghost lines, I will say that you have some understanding of the, like, what's the D&D word for magic-y things, magical knowledge?
Arcana?
Yeah, there we go. You have some knowledge of the arcane in this world, and you know that there are certain elements that, like lightning oil, are used, especially, you might know this because of your experience in the crematoriums, there are certain materials that might be used when dealing with rogue spirits or with regular spirits of any kind. And you might use them in an alloy of some kind to add some kind of benefit to your work. You can tell that where you are is rich with this mineral, this pure mineral. Something that is used to contain a spirit. And the whole wall of coral is resting on top of a shelf made of this incredibly powerful material. Luca, do you have another question?
I can hold them, right?
Yes.
I can hold 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
And then ask them once I see a good opening for a question.
Speaking of an opening for a question, somewhere below the range of your arc light, you suddenly see a flash of a ghostly green uranium-like glow from down below.
That's one of the suits. That's probably the prince.
What is he fighting down there?
Whatever, it's probably no good. We should probably get out there if we can.
The lieutenant very cautiously pulls on some levers and turns some cranks, and you descend down deeper into the void sea. And as you go, you see more of these large metallic structures jutting out from the stone. They are... as you go down further and further, you see chunks of them and start piecing it together in your head and realize that these are what look to you like colossal shackles. Huge chunks of metal bolted into the side of this ore. And each one in turn has been broken in two. As you descend, you find the Prince Admiral in one of his own encounter suits, and so his is a bit more experimental than yours, and he has in his hand a large rod with that kind of looks a lot similar to your web thrower, Chrissy. Kind of looks like a harpoon gun. And strapped to his back is a much larger tank than any of you have on your encounter suits. It's connected by a hose to the front of this device, and out of the front of the device is a steady stream, like a welding torch of pure lightning oil energy. He is slowly cutting through one of these shackles.
I mean, does it look like he's trying to release something to anybody else, or?
As far as you can tell, there just seems to be a large rock or some sort of structural element in this shackle, but you can't tell what kind of creature it is or if it's a creature at all. What do you do?
Can I use one of my questions now?
Certainly.
To say, to ask, what's the best way to approach this?
You still wearing your goggles?
Yes. Always.
I'll say that you can tell just by looking at him that he seems to be surrounded by the same aura that you noticed in his room and in all of the rooms of the ship. There doesn't seem to be any in the submersible right now, other than the remnants of what was in the ship earlier. But he is certainly surrounded by an aura of some kind. Your question was, how is the best to approach this? He is probably, as you assumed, being controlled in some way. So, carefully.
So helpful. Can I see any sort of link? Like, is there some sort of thread or string of aura going off from him?
You know what? I'll say yes. It is curling around him like a tendril of some kind, and it descends down below the extent of your arc lamp.
Like to pass this information discreetly to my comrades. And then quietly suggest, like, possibly hooking the tendril?
We should probably try and get down there and see if we can't communicate with them and get them to come back in.
I don't know that him is him.
Take care of that part first, and then get them to come back into the stuff.
Burn that bridge when we come to it. Got it. Okay.
Burn that bridge after we ride it.
All right, so yeah, we can start descending if that's what everyone wants to do.
And we are all fully preparing, correct? And she's going to glance towards all of the encounter suits and weaponry.
Yes, please. Last time was not very much fun.
Yeah, all right. And she will start hooking everything onto her.
Yeah, Amison will get in his big, giant, honky, tanky metal suit.
Okay. And are you trying to go out into the Void Sea?
I think so. I mean, we might ask him to lower down a little bit, the sub probably, but
Okay.
get us within like as safe as they feel like they can do without hitting the ground, and then we'll go the rest of the way.
Oh, don't worry about the ground. It goes much further down.
Oh, what is he? Is he standing on anything then, or like?
He seems to be maneuvering in the water in some way. That's again, he is attaching himself to the nettle that
To
he.
the rock.
Yeah. We'll say like a climbing thing. He has it like latched into somewhere where you can like hammer yourself in. He's found a way to descend down the rock face.
We're probably gonna need to try and get close enough because I'm gonna sink like a rock if we go. I'm gonna sink like an anchor if we go out there. I need something to get my mag boots on.
Okay. Do the four of you embark into out?
Is there any way I can watch the door? I feel
No.
like.
Nope.
Oh, what do you mean no?
Sticking
No,
together.
you
I
have to
thought that's
come
what
with
he
us.
said.
We're sticking together. Yeah, like he said, that was your idea.
Well, yeah, that's when we were like investigating and inside and stuff. But what if something, comes and tries to close the door and you guys can't get back in? Someone needs to operate the door, obviously.
Yeah, sure. Like Carol, or what's her name? Not Carol. What's her name?
Caro.
You guys are busy though, right? You have to deal with other stuff.
Put your encounter suit on, dude. You're coming with us.
I can't swim.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. That sounds like it could be a problem. Lucky for us, you just need to float. We'll just drag you along.
That doesn't sound very reassuring.
Yeah. Probably doesn't.
You'll figure it out. You can just hold on to one of us.
Yeah.
Keep your mag boots on the sub. You got some range.
Do we have a rope or something that I can tie to my waist and tie to one of you?
Sure.
If you want to work on something that can either tie you to the rock face or to the ship itself or to another player, feel free. You just need to tell me what you want to do with it.
Okay.
Give it a specific purpose, I'll say.
Make me less scared, please.
I don't know if you can explain how you're going to do that one.
I don't want to be out in the water and be surrounded by the water, but I guess I have to do it. So I'll just tie myself to one of you guys, and if I pass out, please don't let me drown.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's do this.
You got this.
Oh boy.
As the four of you enter the airlock, the water slowly starts to fill up, and Nick, you feel a little tingling of stress from your night terror, even if you like to pretend that you don't feel anything. And the four of you exit the submersible into the dark, cold void sea. What do you do? What is your
Well,
plan of
first-
attack?
Nick, who are you attached to?
Oh, you of course.
Sure. Okay.
You make fun of me the least.
All right. Lenia will step out first, but she is going to use her mag boots to attempt to stay on the ship as much as possible, moving towards our destination. But she is going to keep an eye on Nick and probably hold on to the rope just to give him some extra comfort and maybe like a little bit of her own comfort to some degree.
Okay. As the two of you shuffle out, Aminta, what was your plan here?
I was gonna have Amyson use his hook, but then there was the suggestion that we just go and talk to the guy. So I don't feel like I'm the best to lead that effort. So again, I'm gonna tell Amyson, all right, go talk to him.
They want us to get the line off.
Yeah, I think we should hook that tendril.
Let's start with there then.
All right.
I can't see it. You're gonna.
All right. My goggles, which I have placed on the outside of my suit, I'm gonna take off and hand to him.
How do you do it this way? Got it. Nailed it. All right. Can I see this hook thing? This tendril.
Yes, you can.
All right. I'm gonna try and move in and hook it, and then light it up.
I want you to roll either finesse or force, depending on what you want to do.
Define what you mean. What you want to do.
Are you trying to maneuver it or injure it?
I think injure it. That feels like we're trying to like sever it if we can. Almost. That's what he thinks at least. Whether that's
Okay.
what people wanted or not.
Then roll plus
Yeah.
force, please.
Okay. All the bad rolls. That's a 6.
You do not succeed. What I'm going to say is that you attempt your best to reach out with your lightning hook, and you feel it as it tries to catch onto this aura, and it hooks for a second. But as soon as you think you have it, it passes through the aura, and you see the Prince Admiral's head snap towards you. His torch goes off for a second, and he wheels it around to point it towards you, Amison. I need you to steel yourself against injury as he turns the machine back on, and a burst of lightning oil fire comes at you. Remember that you have +1 armor because of your heavy encounter suit.
Does that add 1 to my steel roll, or does it?
It reduces.
I knew that, but it reduces the damage I would take.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. I should have picked something for the steel.
Yep. Please do.
I think let go. Since I'm trying to hook the thing, I don't want to let go of the hook that I'm trying to hook.
Okay.
Which we kind of already described it went through, but I'm saying like I'm still trying to get it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's on the go.
What did you roll?
I got an 8.
You do one of the other things, but not the one you chose. I'm going to say that you are going to suffer more trauma or harm.
Okay. I have
Because
one that I thought was interesting.
because you're trying to keep close, and I'll say you're going to get 4 harm. Your armor protects you a little bit, so take 3 harm. Because you're staying so close to this thing, trying to hook it into place, you can't escape from the extra wrath of the lightning oil weapon.
Cool.
Nevertheless, as you stumble a bit and you try again to hook this aura, the landscape around you shifts. And before you realize it, all of the land around you that the shackles have been attached to starts to buckle and crack, and all around you coral is falling from the edge of the cliff here. And as you look around, you realize that not just this cliff, but all of the land connected to it, all the way up to the surface, is contracting and moving through the void sea. A mammoth beast, as huge as an entire island, rips itself from the last of its shackles and ascends through the void sea to face you. Finally, the right way around, you can see that the coral-covered edges are in fact giant shells that encase a massive beast. Large crab-like arms descend from the sides of this, and the front, the most horrible part, is a mass of tendrils, of arms, of giant teeth. And it faces you as its bioluminescent sides start to glow in an unearthly bluish light. And the writhing of its mouth menaces over you, 7 stories tall and 7 stories wide. And that is where we're going to take a short break as you face off against Strakos, the Devourer. Hello and welcome back to Derelectric 2, The Deep. This is a Ghost Lines one-shot, and we last left our adventurers. They were facing off against Strakos, the Devourer, an ancient deity that is rising from the depths of the Void Sea. What do you do?
I don't know if we're prepared for this, guys. Are you sure we shouldn't just leave?
I am actually at that. I'm gonna signal for everyone to get back in the submarine.
I still have the goggles on, right?
Yes.
Eh.
Does the tendril look like it's still around the prince?
Yeah. I would say that he is actually still
Does it look like he's still trying to flamethrower me?
Well, you were on the ship and he was not. He has now moved with the body of this beast. I will say that he is attached to one of these encrusted edges of one of the what do octopus have? Not tendrils, but
Tentacles?
Tentacles. He is on a coral encrusted tentacle that surrounds its gaping maw. You could save him if you like, but it would require going out and taking him.
Oh no,
Yeah,
it's
he's not
such a shame
flamethrowing
that
me,
the
I'm not-
prince is already dead. Right, Amison?
Yeah, that's fine.
He's dead,
Really is
right?
such
He's
a
not
shame.
breathing.
Does it look like this giant creature is moving towards us at all, or is it just going up?
It is approaching you, but you notice in a moment that you are in fact approaching it, as someone is maneuvering the submersible towards the Prince Admiral.
Nick, maybe you're right. Maybe you should have stayed on the ship.
Thanks for saying that now.
I feel like Nick is already on his way back to the
Oh yeah,
airlock.
him and I can grapple if we want to, but he's tied to me. So I'm mag-booted to the outside of it until we decide otherwise.
Let's get back inside.
If you're all agreed on going back inside, then you can all safely get back in the airlock.
Okay, but what's the game plan? Because, like, are we just gonna let the creature apparently ascend and take over the world? Or are we...
That's what the military's for. We take care of ghosts.
To be fair, you are the military.
I am going to head back towards... I'm gonna head back towards the aft of the ship. I'm heading back towards the back of the ship to where the power cells are.
Okay.
Good thinking. I was gonna say we need an engineer brain on how to take this thing down, and we can't fight it while we're out in here with it because I think it's a little better suited in the water than us, to be honest.
Well, listen, I'm the owl, so, like, I am sharp and shrewd, and swift, so I'm heading towards the stern, back to where the power cells are, which I am sure run on lightning oil.
It's almost like I said it several times throughout the stream. I'm glad you were listening.
And I am going to take those. Are there any sort of torpedo tubes in this machine?
I have a question for you. As soon as you approach them, the engineer of the HMS Pentalion, Kara Strangford, will say, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I am going to try and kill a god.
Kill it. What? Are you
Oh my god,
crazy?
get out of my way.
Okay. We're going to do a roll that we haven't done before. You are trying to impose your will to get your way. If your steel is greater, if your level is greater, if you're a noble of Akaros, or if you threaten bodily harm and your force is greater, take +1. I'm quickly going to give Caro some stats.
What happens if I just punch her?
That is you threatening bodily harm. I mean, I guess you can... Hold on. What is your steel right now?
I don't have any bonuses, it's just 0.
Oh. Wait, all of them are 0?
However, I'm swift, so I'm faster. It says you're faster in parentheses.
Valid, okay. I'll give you a +1 to that, but I don't think you have any of the others. You are threatening bodily harm by giving bodily harm. What is your force?
My force is +0. I'm all insight.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm real smart. I'm an owl. I'm not...
Makes sense. So roll to impose your will, 2d6 +2.
Alright. Hey, I got 14.
14, wow. 12 plus, they are so overwhelmed. They do what you say without another thought. Do you still want to punch her in the face?
No, that was only if she was going to put up a fight. If she seems to not be putting up any sort of argument and isn't going to waste more of our time, then I will tell her that my plan is to somehow get as much of this lightning juice pointed and exploded somehow towards the giant god rising up to eat us.
Are you being serious? There's a god out there?
What did I say?
How are you going to do it?
Well, you're the engineer. How do we get all this shot out of this thing towards it in hopefully an explosion?
I mean, I don't know if they're operational, but only the lieutenant has access to the torpedo bays.
Great, let's do that then. And I'm gonna start disconnecting power cells, leaving only enough for life support.
Okay.
And like, I don't know, thrusters. Yeah, but like nothing crazy, no warp, right? Just
enough to putter away if you can.
yeah, after it's killed.
Okay. You find the lieutenant manning the bridge, unless someone else wants to do this part.
Yeah, no, I can yell up the ship.
I'll take care of it.
Amison, you find the lieutenant, the one you bonded with at the beginning of the session. He is manning.
Bonded with, yeah.
That's what you said. He is piloting the ship closer to the Prince Admiral. In fact, you can see him just outside the window.
It's not the prince, he's dead.
He's not dead. He's obviously still alive. He's right there.
There's a ghost in him.
You think he's been...
I give him the goggles that I still have from Aminta.
I don't know what I'm seeing. What is going on?
See the tendril? It's a ghost has control.
We can still get him back, can't we?
Who's the ghost expert here?
Okay. I want you to impose your will to get your way.
Okay.
I'm also going to assign the lieutenant some things. Give me 1 second. Okay. What is your steal?
2.
Okay. What is your are you threatening bodily harm?
I don't think so. It doesn't feel that way.
Okay. You are gonna roll +0. Because his steal is also 2.
Why do I get so many stats?
And I don't think you're a noble of Akaros.
Where am I? Under the mask. Who knows?
Is that the secret all along? Is that you're actually
No.
a long-lost prince?
Well, yeah, that's a double 1.
He's gonna look at you very seriously and say,
I'm gonna get court-martialed.
"Stand down, sir. We are going after the Prince Admiral. He is still alive somewhere."
Proper.
Yes?
Can I shoot my net at this asshole?
You can if you're in the room. I thought you were still disassembling things.
No, if I hear this coming up, I'm just gonna walk up deliberately and... Ooh.
Roll plus force, please. Are you trying to harm him?
I am just trying to wrap him up in the thing.
So what are you throwing at him?
A ghost catching net.
Isn't that like lightning?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Totally fine.
A little lightning never hurt anyone.
He'll be fine.
Use that 2 steel, you know? Got some real grit. He can handle it. So do we need like Aminta to roll to?
Oh,
I
sorry. Did
almost
you
just
roll
said
plus
roll
force?
to-
Oh, nope, nope. Just a 4.
Unfortunately, a 4 is a failure. He's also going to look at you and scream, "Stand down."
The toughest LT I've ever come across.
Lenia, what are we doing out here? What is going on? Where's everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, she would have moved into the submarine as everybody else did. So we are inside. You don't have to worry.
Yes, you are inside.
Okay, but what are we doing?
I mean, to be fair, what I'm observing is that Aminta is trying to make torpedoes, and Amazon is attempting to get us to go closer to the monster. Not
I'm trying
the-
to get the lieutenant to shoot.
Oh, to shoot the torpedoes. Just kidding. I'm not sure.
It's really
so-
hectic. It's hard to get. I mean, it's easy to get lost.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we could just strap the torpedoes to us.
Excuse me.
I
What
just-
good would that do?
Go right out there. Just do the things.
I can't swim.
Well, you would be tied to me, bud.
You can swim with 2 torpedoes and yourself?
I mean, well, no, I would just be like dragging you along. Nick and I are just having this absolutely pointless conversation in the middle of the.
You know what is kind of reassuring? I've heard of this thing called seafood from really more well-off people, and maybe if we do blow that thing up, we can have some seafood.
This is true.
Okay. All right. Well, Amison, what do you need help with?
You hear the lieutenant address Night Watch. Book. Don your encounter suits. Go out there and save your Prince Admiral.
Oh, that guy's probably dead.
He's dead.
Yeah, that's no good.
Then
That's
we
not
will-
gonna work for us.
Then he will
If
save
you
the
want-
body.
How about this? And I'm just gonna throw my suit at him. You do that, but leave the keys.
Ooh, or here, we'll trade you. We'll trade you some torpedoes to get the body later after the torpedoes. I'll get the body personally after the torpedoes.
And what's
But
to
we
say
need the,
that your plan
Oh.
won't destroy his body?
some of it. But like hopefully not all of it.
Chrissy, please roll to impose your will. You're trying to get your way.
Can this lieutenant see out the front port thing?
What level is this guy? Lieutenant.
Probably higher than you.
Okay. No. Did I threaten bodily harm? I don't think I did.
You don't have to, but you may if you want to.
No. A whole bunch of zeros, guys.
How did you possibly roll a 0?
But do have a +2.
That's still not going to do anything.
It's a 6.
That's still a failure.
Fuck. What if it's like a loose failure? What if it's like a failure with some pizzazz?
Listen,
How-
everyone is really having a hard time. It's really stressful, and I'm sorry, but we just don't know what to do. But what good is getting his body? We need to get rid of that thing first.
Look, we're all under a lot of pressure.
Speaking about pressure, in that moment, because all three of you failed that roll, I'm going to give you a hard move, and you are all tossed to the side as a large tentacle smacks into the side of the submersible. In fact, you can hear as the metal creaks and groans as one side of the submersible is permanently crushed inward, forcing you all to one side of the submersible vehicle.
Yeah, Lania is going to point to that and then flip this guy the bird and start re-zipping her encounter suit just in case the water starts rushing in soon.
Valid approach. Aminta, what are you doing now? You certainly have the dangerous situation on your side if you want to do something drastic.
Yeah, can I grab for his keys?
Sure, roll me finesse.
$10.
Excellent. You get, I believe, 2 of the things in finesse.
Right. I do it quickly and avoid trouble, compromise, or cost.
Excellent. You whip the things off of his belt, and you are able to get away quickly and cleanly.
Alright. I'm
You are-
heading back to the thing, and I am going to close the, one of the in-between thingies, you know?
Yep.
The doors, and I will lock it and put down the bar to secure it, and then talk to, Syrup Lady.
Caro, she points you towards one of the back hatches, and as you descend down into the bowels of the ship, you find yourself surrounded by what's mostly engine works, but also at the end of a small corridor is the torpedo bay.
Alright.
There are currently two bays without any torpedoes in them. And if you want to... and Caro's down there with you, trying her best to get one of them working up for you. It's a bit of a situation, because obviously you're trying to use something that's not a torpedo to be a torpedo.
So, I'm very smart.
Mm-hmm.
Can I attempt to just open the torpedo and open these power cells? Pour all the lightning oil in there.
Okay. If that's what you want to do, we can say that.
We got 2 torpedoes. I'm gonna pour them chock full of oil.
Would you like me to try to assist and possibly botch it?
Yeah, if you wanted to run with me and come through the door with me.
Yeah,
Hell, yes.
I would hope that would be a finesse roll.
I don't think you have to roll if you're just running in afterward, but
All right,
how are you
yeah.
assisting?
I'm going to be the steady, creepy spider hands that she needs to open the
And I'm the
torpedoes.
smarts that tells you what to do.
Okay, that's a finesse roll then.
Okay. That's an 8.
Excellent. So you can use +1 to, or +2 on your end. And Aminta, I want you to roll plus force to see what kind of damage you can do with 2 torpedoes worth of lightning oil.
What bonus does that? Because, I, Aminta, have no force, but 2 torpedoes loaded with lightning oil. What would I add to
Let's
that?
see, one sec.
It's just the harm that happens when you hit.
I think it'll just be what the harm is.
Okay.
Actually, here, we'll do this, because it's a role-playing game, we still have to roll things. Roll me plus insight, and whatever hold you get based on your roll will be the damage each of those missiles does, based on how well you were able to get them to do what you want them to do.
All right. So an 8, and then 14.
How do you go from? Wait, what? Oh, one for each. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because there's 2 torpedoes.
Yep. So one of them you do a little bit sloppily because it's your first one and you're not quite sure what you're doing. It's only going to do 1 damage. But the other one is you've mastered in the time it takes you to do the second one, and will do 3 damage.
Okay. I'm gonna grab the intercom thing and be like, "Your turn." Up to the front of the ship.
Amison and Nick, you see the lieutenant slamming on the door of the engine room. What do you try to do?
Are we in like the piloting room? That's where I assumed we were originally. I'm gonna yell over to Nick. Nick, take the wheel, steer it, aim it true. I'll keep him off your back, and I'm gonna try and interpose myself. Just so.
Aye, aye, Captain. And I do what I'm told, especially because it's not going out in the water.
Why don't you also roll insight to see if you are any good at navigating this ship, or figuring out how to navigate it.
I'm the best.
I don't know who has extra pluses or minuses or advantages from chat right now, but if anyone wants to, feel free.
That's a 12.
Damn, look at you go. It's almost like a second language to you. You are just, that's not how the phrase goes, but that's fine. Everything just seems to make sense to you, and you're able to maneuver the ship appropriately to give her the best shot. Which
I actually studied piloting in preparation for a novel I was going to write about a pilot and a civvy who falls in love, so this is great.
I was thinking you wrote the book on it in your moonlighting career as a writer.
I write, never mind, I don't write novels. You didn't hear anything.
And I'll say with a bang, and then a second bang, these 2 torpedoes go hurtling quietly through the water and sink themselves directly into the maw of this beast. In a flash of green ethereal light, the body is consumed entirely by a fiery explosion of lightning oil.
Does it look damaged at all?
In fact, you see its body slowly sink down into the deep where it came from and disappear from sight.
Good shooting, Nick.
Did I shoot? I thought I steered. Yeah.
You aimed it.
Awesome. I'm so great. Is anyone gonna go get any bits of that? I think it might make some good food, and these MRIs are getting old.
I did
I'm just gonna
agree
say no.
to get parts of the body.
I guess we should also see if Mr. Prince is still intact, so that we don't get in big trouble with the government.
Sure.
I am going to open the door that I locked and just hold up the keys to the lieutenant and just be like, "He dropped these."
He doesn't say anything because he is staring out the front window from the end of the hallway. He looks at you with basically daggers in his eyes, takes the keys back, and wanders up to the front of the cabin.
You should really oil those doors. Stuck.
Super stuck.
And I will say that it is a very long journey back to the surface. You spend some time attempting to follow the creature down into the pit where it fell, but the further you go, the further the ocean seems to stretch. And eventually, between the four of you, you decide to give up and return to the surface. When you get there, you find that the island is completely gone, and the tracks that once led over it now disappear into the void sea for the stretch of about a mile. And the station where you first met up with the Prince Admiral is now gone. And
I'm not taking responsibility for that.
And that is where we will end our story for the night. My name is ProperNerdy. I have been your GM for the evening. I hope you have enjoyed our second installment of Derelectric. Players, before I give my epilogue, please go around in the overlay order to remind the audience who you played, your final thoughts on the adventure, and advertise any content you have coming up soon. I believe we start with Luca.
Hey, I'm Luke, and I am actually off for a little bit. Coming back for Madness Calls It Forth on the 7th, and Fragments over on Nat 20 on the 8th. And then that Saturday, it's Dark Echoes, and then Dungeon Bitches Return. And then that Sunday is Draxhorn Delve, which is a one-shot from the new 5e monthly magazine, Crucible magazine, live on Kickstarter now. And then I'm up against Fazul in Iron DM, and I'm dying. And then it's the premiere of my new little smaller campaign, Harper's Variants, on Tuesday the 15th. And that's it for me for the next few weeks.
Hello everyone, my name is Korabi. I play Nick Sparks. We've done land, sea. I can only assume what's next. I am back for Dark Echoes on the 12th, and then I might be around on the 15th for this weird variance thing. But other than that, that's about it for me. If you like the things and stuff I do, I usually stream every Wednesday before any TPK shows, and play a lot of horror games and stuff. But that is it from me. Next is Purple.
Hello, I'm Purple Phil. I played Innocent Booker today. Yeah, just in similar ideas to what Cole said. You know, we handled the railways, and now we've handled the rail waves. What's next? And yeah, with that, the next thing I'll be on is, as Luca mentioned, is the Iron GM on March 14th with Luca and Fazul. I'm very excited for that. And then the next time I'll be on is the following Monday for Emerald Expeditions. I'll be in that, so excited for all that. Other than that, I'm also over on Neon Lights. It won't be this Sunday, but next Sunday, the 13th, for our Violet Sea, similar to this sea, a different sea, with much less horror and much more, but also a lot of aquatic stuff. So it'll be fun. With that, I'll pass it over to Chrissy.
Yeah, hey guys. I am Chrissy. I played Lenia, our little spider friend. She did her best. Let's see, where else can you see me? Module week is a big one. So I think this month we have Madness Calls It Forth. There is Oath Sworn. And then we also have Queen's Gambit, our Tyranny of Dragons campaign. And then I'm super excited about part 2 of Dungeon Bitches. We have that coming up, and Luca said it, so that means I can say it out loud, because I didn't want to say it the other day because I wasn't sure if we were allowed to say it. So now that Luca said it, I'm going to say it everywhere. No! What else do I have going on? I'm a Jasper's Game Day ambassador. So that's a really big important thing for me for 2022. If you are not familiar, it is a gaming kind of institution that hopes to end and educate people about suicide prevention and awareness. So if you're interested in that, I will be over at Ghostlight RPGs, and they are actually playing right now as well. We'll be playing a Jasper's Game Day like fundraiser game on the 15th of March, so you'll find me there. So that's where you'll see me, all over the place.
Thank you all very much for playing, and thank you to everyone in the audience for joining me for the second installment of Derelectric, my Ghost Lines one-shot series. One-shot that's slowly becoming several shots, and because everyone in the cast mentioned what's happening next time, I guess there might be a next time, so we'll see when that happens. I'll be sure to let everyone know. You can find the games I like to create on itch.io, as well as all of the other games by other people in TPK Roleplay over on the link in chat. Upcoming, as Lucas said, I am next going to be in Madness Calls It Forth, my Knights of Paintown campaign, the City of Mist series. We're in a bit of a in-between episodes, and we're going to see hopefully some big advancements in the game in this next episode. Really get into the lore of the series. Also, at the end of the month, I'm going to be trying one of my new games that I mentioned that's on itch. This is called Cataclysmal, a story about saviors. That's Monday, March 28th at 5 p.m. with a spectacular cast of 5 of my other friends at TPK Roleplay. If you enjoyed this show, please let me know by liking this video on YouTube, joining our Discord, or tweeting us at TPK Roleplay. And now for the epilogue of our mysterious story here. With the only train line between Skovlan and Sephiroth destroyed, and now 2 Imperial princes dead, the riots in Skovlan escalate, creating civil unrest in the continent. The Imperial Navy increases patrols in the area, and sightings of horrific monsters breaching the waves have not yet been sighted, but the adventurers in our story are worried that they might come back at any moment. The Kingdom of Death seeks to overthrow the Imperium, or at least somebody does. Good night all, and stay safe.